What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Maverick Raven coming at you with another video. And yeah, you guys, if you're listening to this video, right now it's 9:42 a.m. Eastern Time Zone, and you might have heard by now that Donald Trump won. He has won the presidency. He will be number 45 and 47. That's awesome, dude. He's going to be the second president to serve non-consecutive terms, and obviously the first Republican to do that ever. I bet you he's probably the first double, twice impeached president to do it too, man, because they were trying to destroy his life. Anyways, so what we're going to do is we're going to go over a brief overview of the night. Obviously, there's a ton of information that came out. We're going to talk about the Senate. Oh no, I think there's a rabbit in here. Anyways, we're going to talk about the Senate because the Republicans needed just a few seats to get control of the Senate. And it looks like they got the seats needed. And I think even then some. And by the looks of it, they're also going to keep the House of Reps. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, so check this out. But before we get to this video, the rest of this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. All that stuff means a lot to me in the channel. I know it's a bother. I know everybody asks, but you know what we gotta ask, because if we don't ask, it's the squeaky wheel that gets the grease. You'd be doing me a huge favor, and it takes you just a little bit of time. But we would also love you guys to be subscribers. The newest members of the Flock family. The Flock is for life. But we would love to have you. Just keep in mind, the air is for everyone. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into this. And as you can see, the first thing is the GOP takes back the Senate, which is awesome, dude. Because if we're going to have a Trump presidency, we can't have him be hampered by the Senate, which was, in control of the Democrats. Was in control of the Democrats. I try to close the door, man, and somehow he just gets in when I'm not looking. Anyway, so yeah, so what we want ideally, obviously, is to have President Trump in there with at least 2 years of him being able to just do all the conservative stuff that we want. Now, obviously, I've said this before. I know that there's a lot of people out there with TDS. It's a real thing. It's a real condition. I know that people are like, oh, everybody has TDS. Bro, seriously, some people have TDS. Some people, it doesn't matter how much good you showed President Trump doing. He's all evil. Everything's wrong. If he says, that the Nazis are horrible people, then he must be wrong, and the Nazis must be misunderstood. Yeah, it's that level of cognitive dissonance, and that's the only word, that's the only explanation for it. Anyway, so now we're gonna have, by the looks of it, what they call a super majority, and that's gonna be awesome. Can you imagine if he picks another Supreme Court justice? Oh, delicious! Oh man, that would be so amazing. I don't think so, but I don't think he's gonna be able to, but it would be amazing. Anyways, so and then as you can see, Harris leads in Arizona, Maricopa County, which I don't even think they have the results yet. I don't think they've solidified their results. It's crazy over there in Arizona right now, man. Arizona and Nevada, we're still waiting on them by a lot. I think Alaska still hasn't closed up. As you can see, it says supporters feeling anxious at the Harris watch party. That's right, and they had reason to feel anxious. I'm not trying to be that guy, but look at their faces. They're not exactly happy, peppy, and bursting with love and joy and all that other stuff that they promised, right? So Harris then won Nebraska District 2, which, as some of you guys might know, Nebraska is split up, in terms of the electoral votes. Barron Trump votes for the first time. The guy who's literally 6'9". He's tall, man. And apparently he's the king of the internet, and he knows how to market himself really well. Tim Kaine, the person that, yes, was the running mate for Hillary Clinton, unfortunately won. He beat newcomer, I don't know how to pronounce that name, Hung Kao, for Senate. That would have been a nice pickup, but we just didn't get it. We just didn't get it in Virginia. Now, this is when things started looking, and I was awake until like 4 in the morning today, dude. I've gotten like 2 hours of sleep, so coffee, here I come, you know. And Cubans, you know, we got a stereotype for loving cafe, you know. So yeah, I definitely have a love affair with coffee. So I'm definitely gonna have one right now as soon as we get out of here. But this is where things started going wrong for Harris, and she really, obviously, it's too late. And she just, I don't know, man. They tried everything they could. They tried lawfare. They tried, you know, the threats of more lawfare. They, you know, excuse me. They lied on them. It was hoax after hoax. They brought these women that, you know, came from nowhere and never reported being groped by President Trump, and all of a sudden, you know, yeah, 2 women did it. Bro, get out of here, bro. How about that poor woman that Doug Emhoff slapped so hard that she had to turn around in place? How about that? And that's not an exaggeration. That is from the woman that he slapped, who is a Democrat still, and was a Democrat back then, and she still came forward with a story. I'm telling you. So when Donald Trump won Georgia, which I was like, I was watching Steven Crowder, and my boy and I were playing Diablo, right? Diablo 4. And I was like, well, we're going to play, and we're just going to watch this, and we're going to watch Steven Crowder, and we're going to see what, you know, come with me. And Steven Crowder, he's like, look, you know, can't really explain all the ins and outs of it, but I'm telling you right now, we're the first to call it. George is going to go to Trump. And of course, you know, not everything withstanding, you know, Steven Crowder hasn't been the best guy lately. You know, but he does his homework. He really does. And he is good at what he does. And most of the time I find him funny. But when he said that, and he's like, no, I guarantee it, you know, we're going to call it first. It's going to go to George. You know, George is going to Trump. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't. But when it happened, I was like, all right. All right. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now, that kind of what I don't want to say. How can I explain it? It's almost like watching a high-speed crash, and you know they're gonna crash because they don't have enough space, or you know, to get out of the way, or time to get out of the way, or enough space to stop, etc. And you're just like, oh no, and you're just kind of like buckling up because you got to take whatever's coming now at this moment because it's situations out of your control. Well, that's kind of the way I feel it was for Miss Kamala, when she got the news that Georgia went against her. She's such an evil bitch. It couldn't happen to a worse person. Anyways, so the men needed to come out because traditionally women vote more often than men. Men just kind of go, whatever. And they just don't show up, man. So they did show up this time, more so than in previous elections, which is great. It says here, Trump grew his advantage among young and early middle-aged men in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. 3 swing states that Miss Kamala would have loved to have. Kamala. I would love to mispronounce her name, but I don't know. I guess I've gotten it programmed in. So, just to give you an insight and kind of, I don't want to say vindication or anything, but I was saying to you guys that she's an evil person, that she's kind of a bitch, that she literally thinks that she's better than everyone, that she's unqualified. I've said all sorts of things about this woman because I truly believe that she's wrong in every aspect. She shouldn't even be where she is right now. Apparently, she's just really good at, adultery, and that's what got her in. And you can lie. You can lie all you want. You can say I'm an asshole. You know what? I am an asshole, but I don't lie. I tell the truth. And if I am not telling the truth, it's because something changed, and I obviously have to change with my information. But when I'm wrong, dude, and I'll admit it. But it's Mrs. Harris, I guess. Even though Doug Emhoff, is the husband and she didn't take his name. I wouldn't either. That guy's a pathetic piece of beta. Anyway, so she was going to have like a victory speech type of thing at Howard University. The scumbag bitch, okay, because that's the only way that you can refer to this fucking cunt, and I'm sorry to use that word, because I know that in America that's kind of like but that's what she is, dude. Like, you can't call a spade anything but a spade. And the word bitch is not strong enough for this woman. This woman was literally, I should say, was metaphorically throwing stones and then hiding her hands and pretending like she didn't throw a stone. And then when Donald Trump was like, bitch, you're throwing stones at me, I know it's you. She's like, no, it's not me. And how dare you accuse me? That type of thing. Because think about it, she was saying, I'm the great unifier, this and that. And of course, she's going to unify the country, while her opponent is literally unifying the country already by, uniting a coalition of independents, Republicans, Democrats, former Democrats. It's just crazy. Team Unity on the MAGA side, it's just overpowered, man. It's just overpowered. And I'm glad that we're going to be able to see what they can do. And I hope that they live up to the hype, because there is a lot of hype. So she didn't even have the graciousness to address her supporters. Her supporters who were surely dejected, who were surely, sold the line. As Vice President Kamala Harris will not address her supporters at campaign headquarters tonight. This was obviously last night. Cedric Richmond, co-chair of the Harris-Walz campaign, took the lectern instead, as results coming in from swing states paint a grim picture for the vice president. At the time he addressed the crowd, the Associated Press had declared former President Donald Trump the victor in North Carolina and Georgia. However, Trump also has a strong lead in all 5 other key swing states, including the 3 crucial Rust Belt states. We still have votes to count. We still have states that haven't been called yet, Richmond said. We want to fight to make sure that every vote is counted, that every voice is spoken, so you won't hear from the vice president tonight. You know what time President Trump came out to basically say it's a wrap and thank you and what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it, and the unity party's great. He thanks his wife, he thanks his team, because that's what leaders do. And you people that are hate watching, you people that are like, oh, mean tweets, crass, he's a bully, blah blah, all this stupid shit, all of that. And I know that there's going to be people that are going to be closed-minded. There's going to be people that are never going to admit they're wrong. There's people that are never going to even give a chance to change their opinion on Donald Trump. I get that. But you know what? He's your president now. And the same way I had to eat Joe Biden for 4 years and I knew he was horrible, well, guess what? You're going to have to eat Donald Trump for the next 4 years. And hopefully, God willing, there's another 8 years or more MAGA after that with J.D. Vance or, even Vivek Ramaswamy, all the people he's basically built in this coalition, this team unity, this unity party. So yeah, dude, she was in a huff. What is that? What type of thing is that? Oh, I didn't win. It's literally like I'm winning. I'm not gonna speak to the poor people that are there waiting, have been wait. It's disgusting, dude. But that just goes to show you the type of person that she is. Meanwhile, you're throwing all this shade at Donald Trump, and he's don't. Of course, he's got his things. He's a flawed man. He's a sinful man, just like everybody else. But dude, come on now. This bitch doesn't have the freaking courtesy to just stay there and go, look, guys, you guys got me close, but we couldn't pull it out. It's okay. It's okay. So then, Harris won New Hampshire. Trump won a district in Maine, which I think gave him what, like 2 votes? Yeah, 2 votes. Yeah. No, wait. Oh, 1 electoral vote. That's kind of sad. But yeah, apparently Maine District 2 has 1 electoral vote. He won that. And then this is where everything came full circle and Donald Trump was proven right again. Don't get me wrong, he's been wrong on a lot. I think he's wrong on the abortion ban. I think he should enforce like a Florida abortion ban of 6 weeks. I think it's because dude, don't sleep around. Use birth control. It's very simple. Won Pennsylvania, and obviously, as it says there, most critical battleground state, and that's true, you guys. There's just no way around it. That has a massive amount of electoral votes. It was 19. It says former President Donald Trump crossed the finish line in Pennsylvania early on Wednesday morning. It was like 2:30, 3 o'clock, and every MSM outlet was reporting something different. And then I had Crowder on, and then I was also watching Tim Pool because Tim Pool was also like crossing the stream, something you're never supposed to do, right? Ghostbuster reference and a dad joke. What can I say? So they had Tim Pool, Daily Wire, and even Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder obviously probably still has bad beef with Daily Wire, so they weren't on at the same time. But Tim Pool was switching with having Steven Crowder and Daily Wire, and dude, it was just one cool guest after another, man. Like all of YouTube is banding together. All of the reasonable people that try to do news on YouTube that I really love and respect, they just banded together last night and were just wanting to give coverage. It was amazing. What Crowder did was amazing too. He had the #1 broadcast in the world, I believe, on that issue. And yeah, it was great. It was just great. And there was a lot of different podcasts that you had to keep track of because everyone was reporting different things. Like at one point, if I'm not mistaken, there was one MSM, outlet that had her at like 77 electoral votes and him at 199. I was like, this doesn't make sense. Because that, everything was moving so fast and reports were coming in, and apparently the outlets, the MSM outlets, some of them were getting some reports but not others, and then other agencies were getting the other reports but not those. You know what I mean? So it was just crazy. So 19 electoral votes, big. It was just huge. Maybe if the dumb bitch would have picked Josh Shapiro as her vice president, maybe she would have won Pennsylvania. Maybe. Because he did win it by not a lot, but I think he won it by like, what does it say here? Well, let's see if we can find out here. It says, adding to Trump's wins in North Carolina and Georgia, the former president is now 3 votes away from winning the Electoral College. The Pennsylvania race was called at 2:24 a.m. by the Associated Press. Recent polls showed a tight race in the Commonwealth, with many in October leaning in Trump's favor. Biden won the Keystone State by roughly 8,000 votes in 2020, after Trump won the Blue Wall State by a 0.72% margin of error, I guess. Or no, I'm sorry, a 0.72% margin 4 years earlier. Yeah, they're talking about the Hillary campaign against Hillary. Vice President Kamala Harris's entire campaign schedule on Monday consisted of rallies across Pennsylvania, ending with a final event in Philadelphia that wraps right before midnight. That's true. That's true. Because they were criticizing Donald Trump for not campaigning in Pennsylvania his last few days, and he basically apparently he just said, "Oh, I've campaigned there enough. I got campaigns in other places." And I was kind of worried that he wasn't going to get Pennsylvania because he didn't finish in Pennsylvania. But obviously, Trump was right again. And I hate to say that shit because I'm not a member of QAnon. I never believed in Q. But dude, like that whole thing about Trump was right is a meme for a reason. That motherfucker's right more often than not. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, so I think that is what destroyed the evening for the Democrats this morning. After that, you could tell that the anchors, who are nothing but hyper partisan hacks, they were all depressed, and it was just glorious. It really was. It really was. So here we go. Trump declares victory in Florida speech. As races were called in almost enough states to give him the 270 electoral votes needed to win the election, former president and future president, or should I say president-elect, what's more dignified? Because the point is, he's in there, bitches. It's going to be awesome. Oh, man. Dude, supermajority. Maybe can actually get some stuff done, like build the wall, and these fucking, these immigrants that are just destroying our communities, mass deport every single one of these shitheads that has been abusing the generosity and kindness of the United States of America. And don't forget to stop sending all the money and all these supplies and all these troops for these overseas wars that we have no business fighting. None. So he declared victory in a campaign speech in Florida, which is pretty cool. South Florida. He must have been near Mar-a-Lago. I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president, Trump said just after Pennsylvania was called in his favor and he had reached 267 electoral college votes. Now, that might sound like, oh, what an asshole, because I heard it. What an asshole. He hasn't even gotten 270 and he's having a victory speech. Yes, because at that point, and I think still, Alaska hasn't been called, Wisconsin hadn't been called, Arizona, Nevada, Michigan, all these places haven't been called, and I think some of them might be called already. We'll check that out, because that's like crazy. It's like crazy. What is this here? Let's check that out. Let's see if there's let's see if they got anything. Nah. Donald Trump won. Big deal. They don't have anything. They don't have anything. Oh, I hate that. They don't have anything to show me who came in, who was last here, do they? Who was last that certified their election and won? Oh, Wisconsin, right there. Bam. That's it right there. That's it right there. So he officially wins the race because the Pennsylvania win put him at 267. And then Wisconsin, apparently he won by... Ooh. I'm going to be honest. He didn't win by a lot. He won by 0.9%, which vote-wise is literally about 31,000 votes, more or less, 31,000 votes. Ew, that kind of black-pilled me a little bit, even though I'm white-pilled because, everything looks like it's on the up and up for our side. But that's kind of weird, dude. He almost lost that by 31,000 votes. I know she's mad today. Are we still winning the popular vote? Yeah, by almost 5 million. Oh, man, that is awesome. That is awesome. Of course, California broke for Harris by over 17%. She got 1.6 almost million votes more than Donald Trump. That's to be expected. In New York, she only won by, and I'm saying only because remember, it used to be for many years that these two states were untouchable. And obviously California is untouchable. 70% lead is that's crazy. Even though he did actually make up some ground because Biden won by more than that. But you know, Kamala Harris was an unlikable character, an unlikable candidate. She was awful at what she did. She knew she was awful at what she did. The word salads were very obvious. People don't like her. She's not likable in any way. She just isn't. And I know that people feel the same way about Trump, but you know what? At least with Trump, you know what he is. He tells you one thing, and that's what it is. If you don't like it, you can tell him to go pound sand or whatever, but that's the way it's going to be. You know? With this bitch, she's going to lie to you and give you a word salad and turn you all the way around until you don't even remember what you asked for anymore. But yeah, so that's what we had. And then, excuse me. So it was really nice. Like I said, you know, he thanked his wife, he thanked the team. It was great, dude. It was really great. Trump called it a magnificent victory as it appeared he will secure enough votes to also win the popular vote, the first time a Republican has done so in 20 years. And in addition to having won the battleground states, we are now winning in Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, and Alaska, which would result in us carrying at least 315 electoral votes. That would be hilarious. He also congratulated his running mate, Senator J.D. Vance from Ohio, on becoming the next vice president. Mr. President, I appreciate you allowing me to join you on this incredible journey, Vance said. I thank you for the trust that you place in me, and I think that we just witnessed the greatest political comeback in the history of the United States of America. I agree. Think about every single thing that they did to Donald Trump, and he's still bloodied but not broken. That's a man, bro. That's a man. That's the way men should be. So apparently at 3 a.m. they called Minnesota for Kamala Harris. It says continuing the state's decades-old tradition of siding with the Democratic candidate. She won by a lot, I bet, right? I think she won by a lot. It's right here. Where is... Here we go. Oh, wait. No, I'm talking about Minnesota. No, that's Montana. Where the hell is Minnesota again? Like right here, right? Yeah. Yeah, 99%. And she won it. Wow. Percentage-wise, it's a lot, you know? But in terms of people, she only won it by 140,000 votes or so. 141,000 votes. That's not a lot, you know. That could be a city. Easily. Whoops. No. Anyway, so that was Minnesota. Markets braced for anticipated Trump presidency. And of course I had to sell my stocks already. Ain't that a beat? Anyways, the world leaders congratulate Trump on winning the presidency. This guy's a cuck right here. That's Starmer. And then you got Netanyahu, who now they're saying is a war criminal. I'm not going to weigh in on that. I don't know enough. It certainly does look bad for him right now. But Israelis are coming around on him, and he's gaining popularity again. And then this dude right here, which is Minister Michel Barnier. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Apparently they all called, and welcomed the president back to his house. And I hope on a personal level that the president called and told them to get all their shit out of my house. So yeah. Oh, look, world leaders continue to send congratulations. Who's this now? Leaders from Europe, the Middle East, and Asia have all sent their best wishes to the new president-elect who declared victory in the race earlier this morning. Two leaders at war, Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel and Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine, both welcomed Trump back to the world stage, with the former calling it history's greatest comeback. I don't trust Zelensky. I think he's probably doing it just to hopefully get money in the future, solicit some money. Because he's basically been a pimp. He just shows up in the United States and he just gives him $20 billion. It's crazy. Oh, Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India, the world's largest democracy, was also effusive in his message to Trump, sending heartiest congratulations to his friend. Indians have been so supportive and they love America so much, man. Don't buy into the hate. For real. If there's one thing that you can get from today's broadcast other than, the actual factual information, don't let people tell you that America's hated. Don't let people tell you that we're a joke. Don't let people tell you that for whatever reason, everyone around the world just hates us. That's not true, you guys. They don't hate Donald Trump. They don't hate us. As a matter of fact, a lot of countries love Donald Trump. A lot of them. The thing is, and we've been saying this for a long time, and I think that this is proof that we weren't talking shit. Okay? We had a majority of people who were just reasonable, run-of-the-mill, average, normal, however you want to call them, people that didn't want to be fucked with, just wanted to be left alone. They wanted the government to not come into their lives. They wanted very small things, dude. And they kept getting, these sermons from left-wing activists. Woke shit. And in the words of Donald Trump, everything woke goes to shit. And it's true. So, these people will gaslight you. They'll tell you you're a racist. They'll tell you that you supported a racist. And they'll tell you all sorts of things because either they're evil, or they're idiots, or they have extreme TDS, which might be a form of legitimate, sincere mental illness. And I'm not even kidding on that. I know my sense of humor can be dry, but that I'm for real. They might diagnose TDS one day as like an offshoot of this, It's serious. So we got all that. Let's see what else we got. Yeah. Trump calls election result massive victory for democracy and freedom. And then, of course, this is awesome right here. I forgot to talk about this. Republican Tim Sheehy has ended Montana Senator Jon Tester's 3-term tenure. Get out. That's 12 years. Sucks to be you, buddy. Sucks to be you. As seen here, the Nevada Senate race is too close to call, maybe for days. I'm too white-pilled for any of this worrying, from Trump Tower to the White House, Trump's path to the nomination, etc., etc., etc. I'll put all this on here. But look at that picture. He looks how he looks, whatever. Presidential, powerful. I know that some people won't admit that the dude's like 6'4", bro. Come on. How many people are 6'4"? And the guy knows business. He knows it. I don't want to hear any of this bullshit about, oh, he's bankrupt. You know how many people are bankrupt? And sometimes that's the only solution. And those who try the most fail the most. So while he's, opening business after business, some of them fail. Some of them continue. Some of them get bought out for other reasons, and he makes money on that. So the point is, this is your next president. He's the president-elect. This right here will once again be your first lady. That is the most beautiful, gracious, just nicest first lady I've ever seen in my lifetime personally. And she's so lovely. And if she was a Democratic first lady, she would have like 20 magazine covers. You're going to tell me that Michelle Obama can compete with this beautiful woman right here? And on top of that, she's got such a nice, sweet, big heart, dude. And then of course this guy who needs to play in the NBA because he's like 6'9". Well, his mom's I think 6 foot, and then this jerk over here, just kidding, is 6'4". So 6'4" and 6 feet, you're gonna become a giant, dude. You know. So, anyways, you guys, that's the video. I am going to leave a link for all of this, of course, like I always try to, and I think I almost do, always. Because it's going to have all of the information with timestamps and all that for what happened at what time, etc., etc., etc. Guys, I'm so happy. I hope you are too. If you're not, if you voted for Kamala Harris, I understand why you might be bummed. I can kind of sympathize with you, but I have a hard time understanding why anybody would vote for Kamala Harris. I really do. She had no policy positions, none. She never explained any of her policy positions. When she did explain the thing about, you know, oh, for the love, now I'm forgetting. When she did explain the price control thing, nobody cared on the left. They didn't care that was communism. They didn't care. Guys, she really sucked, man. And remember, she was like the most hated VP for a very long time, if not ever. She was the most leftist senator when she was serving, and she was serving with some leftist people like Bernie Sanders. So, but that's where we're at right now. As always, thank you for hanging out. Love hanging out with you guys. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know. Think about liking. Think about subscribing. The flock would love to have you guys. And as always, please stay safe and stay based.